Hey guys, so I just got done watching AEW Dynamite Grand Slam, and I thought I'd do a video to talk about what I thought about the show because it was pretty much a pay-per-view on free TV, and I thought it was pretty good. So pretty good that AEW would do that. Give away some big matches for free like that. I think that you know shows shows that the company really cares about its fans, and it's not all just about making money for them. So I thought that was pretty good. So the first match was Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson, formerly known as Daniel Bryan in WWE. And I thought that match was pretty good. It ended up going to a time limit draw, which I thought was pretty good because not too many matches go to a time limit draw, and that's definitely something that WWE doesn't even do. So I think this is the first real match that Bryan Danielson has had since coming from WWE, and he did pretty good. He was focusing a lot on Kenny Omega's arm, so that's some good in-ring psychology there. So I thought that was pretty good. The next match, I was just checking my notes there real bit. It wasn't a match next. Next thing was a promo from CM Punk where he was calling out Powerhouse Hobbs. And CM Punk has always been pretty good at promos, and this was no exception. It was another just pretty good, CM Punk promo. So, you gotta like that. Nothing wrong with a pretty good promo. The next match was MJF versus Brian Pillman Jr. And I thought that match was pretty good. MJF is always really good about getting a lot of heat, getting a lot of good heel heat. So I thought that match was pretty good. In the end, MJF won with the Salt of the Earth submission, and that's pretty good. It's pretty good. Keeps the finisher strong. The next match. The next match was Malachi Black versus Cody. So, overall, I thought that match was pretty good. Towards the end, Cody hit the ref. The ref took a bump from Cody, which is, I think that's starting to sow the seeds of a heel turn for Cody, which I think is pretty good. It'd be pretty good for his character. He's been face for a while now, and it's getting a little stale. So I think a heel turn could really breathe some new life into his character. So that was pretty good. And then Malachi Black hit the Black Mist on Cody and got the pinfall. So I thought that match was pretty good. The next match was FTR versus Sting and Darby Allin. So, that match was pretty good. I think this is the first time that we've seen Sting wrestle since he fought Seth Rollins for the WWE Championship at Night of Champions back in 2016, I think that was. So Sting didn't take a lot of bumps. If he didn't, well, actually, he took a few hits, but he didn't really take any bumps, which, but it was still pretty good. He still, got a lot of work in, did a lot of moves in the ring. He was still very much an active participant in the match, but, I mean, he's got a bad neck, so you gotta protect him, He's pretty old, so one thing I did notice, though, was that FTR was wearing these NWO stylized logos on their trunks. And, I think that was a pretty good callback to WCW and Sting's feud with the NWO. Another thing I noticed is that on commentary, JR referred to Darby Allin and Sting as the brothers in paint, which that is what Sting and Vampiro were referred to as in WCW. So there was a lot of good callbacks, in this match. And I thought that was pretty good. In the end, Sting and Darby Allin won. Sting threw one of the FTR members into a chair that was being held up. And then he put him in the Scorpion Deathlock, and the other FTR guy, I can never tell them apart, but, it's still pretty good. But the other FTR guy, tried to break up the submission, and Darby Allin coffin dropped onto them. So I thought that was a pretty good finish to that match. That match was pretty good. Probably, I think that was my favorite match of the night. So the main event was Ruby Soho versus Britt Baker DMD for the AEW Women's Championship. So, I haven't seen Ruby Soho since she was in WWE as Ruby Riott. I haven't seen her since then. And, I forgot how good she was. She can really go, and she's pretty good, But, the match was pretty good. Ruby Soho was kicking out of a lot of big moves. And for a while, it looked like, she just wasn't going to give up. But in the end, Britt Baker won with the lockjaw. So, that was a pretty good finish. Overall, I'd say the show, it was pretty good.